Hey everyone. So it's been around a week since I've recorded anything, and a lot of that has to do with just sheer mental exhaustion from this whole existing on this planet in this particular time thing. Um, Somehow I woke up again though. I'm not real happy about it, but I'm still alive for now. And I was trying to figure out, what I was going to discuss today. And today is going to be more of a rant than anything. And there will be a point that you'll see I'm trying to make. But I wanted to start out, and you'll see where I'm going. I wanted to start out this video by talking about human sacrifice and a happy topic. I grew up Southern Baptist. I say that a lot in here just so you kind of have an idea of what my background is. And of course, growing up that way, there's no shortage of reading about all kinds of pleasantries that are in the Bible, such as, God wiping out the entire population with the exception of one incestuous family, or the storming of Jericho, or any number of other just really fun things in the Bible. And, so you see instances of human sacrifice. And as you begin to read more on history, and as I began to read more on history, you start seeing human sacrifice kind of being a recurring theme in a lot of different civilizations, not just the Aztecs or the Mayans, but civilizations on basically every continent that was inhabited. And I can understand the idea of human sacrifice at that time, even though we, at least most of us, should view it as barbaric and, having no place in the modern world. I can understand where it would come from when you are living in these times before science, where you have volcanoes and you have diseases and you have famine and droughts and earthquakes and all these different things. And so the idea of sacrificing a few to appease the gods into giving the group, food or a relief from these things, it makes sense. And in some ways is noble on behalf of the people who were sacrifices, especially if there were people who were willingly sacrificed. Obviously, the ones that were not, that's a different story. But my point is, I can understand the idea of human sacrifice in that regard and in that context. And I bring that up because we like to look at these past civilizations and say, man, look how barbaric they were. They were out there. How could anyone stand by and watch as their children get sacrificed, or as their neighbors or people they know face this type of an end? But the fact of the matter is, we do it. It's just under the guise of a different god. They had their sacrifices for rain gods or sun gods or whatever. We have our sacrifices for the god of capitalism, or for the god of the Second Amendment, or for any other thing that we tend to worship in this nation. And the reason I say that is because look at how many people expire from lack of insulin. I have to be careful here because of the algorithm. But how many people in this nation, every year, from lack of insulin, are just no more? And, it's not that insulin is a difficult thing to make. It's not that It's a difficult thing to administer. You don't need a team of doctors to do this. But their lives will be sacrificed for those profits. Those healthcare companies, they've got to make their profits. Same with these school massacres that occur. Or, the massacres that happen in malls or at concerts or whenever there's a road rage incident. Those are sacrifices that we have to make to the God of the Second Amendment. And you hear the arguments all the time about how, can't do anything about it because criminals won't follow the law, which is a truly stupid position to take, first of all. Like, if you've ever made that argument, go read a book. Go read a book at some point. Because, one, no laws could exist if that was the reasoning behind them. Well, criminals are just going to break the law, so, can't do anything about it. It's an insanely stupid position, and it's an insult to the human intellect to even consider that an argument. But again, at least when we look at the sacrifices that were made in the past, those were done to better the group. These sacrifices that people literally cease to exist just so profits can be made by companies that already have so much wealth, and by families that already have so much wealth that even if you were to double the amount of money they had, it would be irrelevant because they couldn't even spend the amount of money they had initially. But we've been conditioned to say, oh, well, free market, when it's not even a free market to begin with. And so that's why I say the idea of human sacrifice, we've gotten it completely backwards at this point. We sacrifice people for just a few families, while everyone else is trying to figure out if they're going to be next. And this is what modern society has done here in America. We're one of the only industrialized nations that has to deal with these types of issues. But again, it's under the skies of freedom. It's under the new gods, the modern gods, which are capitalism and the Second Amendment and this vague notion of freedom that's preached and clung to by people, when the reality is they don't have any. And so I would just ask, what gods are you serving in this time? Because it certainly seems as if most people I know, and most people in this society, are one step away from being the sacrificial lamb, and they don't even know it. And I've seen people just defend their own slavery to the death with the hope that one day they will be a slave owner. Don't give me any benefits now. I don't want to pay any taxes if I can, help it. Because one day I might be really rich, and then I don't want to pay taxes either. That's where we are right now. And so I would just ask, think about what it is that we give to just exist. How many people even have a real life at this point other than an existence? And so, hopefully there's some message in there. Like I said, today's more of a rant than anything, because I'm real irritated with where things are and the lives that we are willing to give up in this nation just so a few people can make a profit. And the willingness of people in this nation to say, yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem being sacrificed for these people to make profits, because maybe one day I'll be one of them. It's a crazy position.